Here is a detailed overview of General Carsten Breuer's life and career. Here are the detailed facts about General Carsten Breuer's early life. Early life of General Carsten Breuer. Date of birth: December 1st, 1964. Place of birth: Lettmaife district, in the city of Iserlohn, located in the Sauerland region of North Rhine-Westphalia, West Germany. He grew up in the Sauerland area, a hilly forested region known for its rural character and traditional communities. His early environment likely influenced his disciplined, structured approach to service. There is limited public information about his family background or childhood interests. However, he is known to have developed a passion for structure, responsibility, and leadership early on, qualities that steered him toward a military career right after completing his Abitur German high school diploma. 1984. Age 19. Immediately after finishing school, he enlisted in the Bundeswehr German Armed Forces as an officer cadet with the 11th Air Defense Regiment in Achim, Lower Saxony. This marked the beginning of a long and decorated military career. Here's a detailed breakdown of General Carsten Breuer's military career progression, showing how he rose through the ranks of the German Bundeswehr. Military career progression of General Carsten Breuer, 1984 to 1988. Officer training and university. The Bundeswehr in 1984 with the 11th Air Defense Regiment in Achim. Officer training at the Army Air Defense School in Rendsburg. Studied educational theory at Helmut Schmidt University, formerly Bundeswehr University, Hamburg, graduating in 1988-1989-1992. Early assignments: served as an intelligence officer and adjutant to the commander of the 10th Armored Division in Sigmaringen, 1992 to 1995. Company level command, commander of the 4th Battery, 6th Armored Air Defense Gun Demonstration Battalion in Lut. 1995-1997. Staff College. Completed the General Staff Officer course at the Bundeswehr Command and Staff College in Hamburg, 1997 to 1999. Strategic Staff role: served as a staff officer to the Vice Chief of Defense at the Federal Ministry of Defense. In Bonn 2001-2002. International Military Education S. Army Command and General Staff College in Fort Leavenworth, Kansas. 2002-2004. Brigade Level Staff, role Chief of Staff for the 41st Armored Infantry Brigade. Also served as commander of the German Kiev contingent in Kosovo. 2004-2006. Battalion. Commanded the 12th Armored Air Defense Gun Battalion in Har. 2006-2008. High-level ministry role: adjutant to the Inspector of the Army at the Federal Ministry of Defense in Bonn. 2008-2010. NATO assignments: served in Brussels as Deputy National Military Representative and Chief of Staff to the German Military Representative at NATO. 2010-2013. Strategic planning at Modi. Held senior policy roles in the Directorate General for Security and Defense Policy at the Ministry of Defense. 2013-2014. Brigade commander of the 37th Panzergrenadier Brigade in Frankenberg, Saxony. Promoted to Brigadier General in 2013.2014. Afghanistan. Deployment: served as Director, Current Operations at ISAF, Joint Command in Kabul, Afghanistan, 2015-2016. National Defense Strategy Lead Author and Project Manager for the 2016 White Paper on German Security Policy and the Future of the Bund. 2016-2017. Army Staff role: promoted to Major General. Deputy Chief of Staff for Operations, Intelligence, and Training at Army Command. In STRA, USBERG. 2018-2021. Territorial Operations Commander of the Territorial Task Command, managing domestic operations like disaster relief and military support during crises. 2021-2022. COVID-19 Task Force, appointed by Chancellor Olaf Scholz as head of the Federal Chancellery's COVID-19 Crisis Team, managing military logistics and support during the pandemic. 22-2023. Homeland Defense Command, promoted to Lieutenant General, First Commander of the newly established Bundeswehr Homeland Defense Command. The 17th of March 2023 present. Inspector General of the Bundeswehr, promoted to General. The highest rank in the Bundeswehr, became the 17th Inspector General, responsible for the overall command and operational readiness of Germany's armed forces. Principal military advisor to the German government. Here's a comprehensive overview of General Carsten Breuer's role as Inspector General of the Bundeswehr. As Inspector General, he holds the highest-ranking military position in Germany and serves as the top military advisor to the Federal Minister of Defense. He oversees the German Defense Staff role and responsibilities of the Inspector General of the Bundeswehr, Germany's highest-ranking military officer. The Inspector General of the Bundeswehr, General Inspektor der Bundeswehr, is the supreme military authority in Germany. Holds the rank of General 4-star officer, the highest rank in the Bundeswehr. Direct military advisor to the Federal Minister of Defense, Chancellor of the Federal Government on strategic military affairs, strategic leadership duties, and coordinates all military operations, planning, and development across the Bundeswehr. Oversees the Army, Air, Navy, Marine, Air Force, Luftwaffe, Joint Support Service, Medical Service, Cyber, and Information Domain Service. Key responsibilities. Operational command and readiness ensures that German armed forces are prepared for national and alliance defense, both within Germany and abroad. Leads force development, capability upgrades, and organizational restructuring. Military strategy and planning. Develops national defense strategies in line with NATO and EU defense objectives. Shapes long-term modernization and procurement plans. Advisor to the government. Provides military assessments during crises or conflicts, for example, Ukraine war, NATO contingencies. Advises on deployment decisions and Bundeswehr commitments overseas. Coordination with NATO and EU. Acts as the German military's point of contact with NATO's Supreme Allied Commander, Europe CEUR. Participates in allied strategic discussions and joint defense planning. Homeland security and civil military operations coordinates. Bundeswehr involvement in civil support missions, for example, disaster relief, COVID-19 pandemic, flood responses. Leads domestic defense initiatives through structures like the Homeland Defense Command. Force transformation. Champions reforms in Bundeswehr structure, digitalization, and recruitment. Focuses on shifting the Bundeswehr toward a Kriegsbereit combat-ready posture, aiming for full readiness by 2029. Organizational position. Reports directly to the Federal Minister of Defense, supported by the German Defense Staff. Führungsstab der Streitkraft, within the Ministry of Defense, coordinates the Chiefs of Staff of all armed services. Civilian control. Reminder: while the Inspector General is the top military commander, Germany maintains strong civilian control over its military. All military decisions are made under the authority of the civilian Ministry of Defense and the Bundestag. Here's a detailed overview of General Carsten Breuer's tenure and the strategic context surrounding his appointment as Inspector General of the Bundeswehr. Tenure and context. Appointed the 17th of March 2023, General Carsten Breuer was appointed Inspector General of the Bundeswehr by then Defense Minister Boris Pistorius. He succeeded General Eberhard Zorn. Upon appointment, Breuer was promoted to the rank of General Four-Star, becoming Germany's highest-ranking military officer. Geopolitical and security context. Post-Ukraine invasion shift. Breuer took over amid Europe's most serious security crisis since the Cold War. Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, February 2022, triggered a major rethinking of Germany's defense posture. NATO's eastern flank needed strengthening, and Germany faced internal and external pressure to modernize its military. Bundeswehr rebuilding under the €100 billion Sandervermögen. In response to Russia's aggression, Chancellor Olaf Scholz announced a €100 billion special defense fund to revamp the Bundeswehr. Breuer's task: translate funding into readiness, modern equipment, ammunition stocks, training, and force structure. Strategic focus during Breuer's tenure. 1. Bundeswehr readiness by 2029. Breuer introduced a landmark goal: Germany must be Kriegstüchtig, ready for war by 2029. This includes rebuilding ammunition, restoring air defense capabilities, accelerating procurement of long-range weapons, improving troop readiness, and operational tempo. 2. Directive on Operational Readiness 2025. On the 19th of May 2025, he issued the Directive on Priorities for the Bolstering of Readiness, a comprehensive set of reforms focused on air defense, especially against drones and cruise missiles, precision strike weapons with ranges over 500 kilometers, electronic warfare in space, capabilities, personnel expansion towards 200,000 active troops. Mindset change within the armed forces away from bureaucratic peacetime routines. 3. Support for Ukraine. Breuer has been deeply involved in Germany's support for Ukraine, led the delivery and coordination of equipment, for example, Leopard 2 tanks, Iris-T air defense, artillery systems, traveled to Kyiv multiple times to coordinate support and affirm Germany's military backing, participated in Ramstein format meetings on Ukraine military aid and NATO coordination. Significance of his appointment: first Homeland Defense Commander, before becoming Inspector General. Breuer led the newly created Bundeswehr Territorial Operations Command, central to Germany's civil-military coordination, pandemic leadership. He was also widely recognized for successfully managing the Bundeswehr's COVID-19 crisis response task force in 2021 to 2022, enhancing his reputation for logistical and strategic competence. Here's a detailed breakdown of General Carsten Breuer's strategic priorities as Inspector General of the Bundeswehr. Strategic priorities of General Carsten Breuer's, Germany's highest-ranking soldier. General Breuer has identified readiness, deterrence, and transformation